Hey folks, Leaver here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you enjoyed my review as good as it gets. Hope you like my Back to the Future shirt. And, well, for my next review, this one is a requested review. It was requested by one of my subscribers. It's a Nickelodeon movie that came out in 2004. And today I am my requested review of the 2004 live-action comedy film based on the Nickelodeon anime television series, and that is, the film's called the Spongebob SquarePants movie. Yes. Now, before I get into it, the review, this review was requested by a good friend of mine. Guys, been on my channel for a good while. Hope you guys can see me. Sorry. Okay. Hope the webcam's good and you can see and hear me. Yes, it was one of my good friends and good subscribers here on YouTube called James Bond, Star Wars fan, 1995. Now, he doesn't do movie reviews or anything like that, but he does like videos. He's a fan of stuff like I am. Like, he's a big fan of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, James Bond, Toy Story, The Shining, Back to the Future. Back to the Future, which I am too. And, of course, Blade Runner, 1982. But if you're a big fan, like I said, if you're a big fan of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, James Bond, Toy Story, The Shining, Back to the Future, or Blade Runner, if you're a fan of any of those movies, definitely go sub to his channel, because he's very cool. He doesn't make videos, but he's cool. And he's requested me to review some movies before. So, And I think for my requested reviews, the most I've done for him, And again, like I said, I don't own SpongeBob, but I got lucky to review this movie today. So this review is for you, James Bond Star Wars fan, 1995. Thank you for requesting this movie. Sorry for the long wait, for the requested review, but thank you, my friend. I will be leaving your channel in the description below. So definitely go check out his channel when I leave it there. Alright. And this movie came out in SpongeBob SquarePants movie came out in 2004. I do remember, I grew up with SpongeBob. Nickelodeon was, that was the shit in the day. I'm like, I ain't kidding you. That was the stuff I loved watching when I was a kid. I watched a lot of SpongeBob, a lot of Nickelodeon shows like Rugrats, Hey Arnold, The Wild Thornberrys show, SpongeBob SquarePants, Rocket Power, Cat Dog, a lot of them I watched, when I grew up. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, Jimmy Neutron, which I did review Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, the movie, by the way. Check it out on my channel. Yeah. But, like I said, I grew up loving watching SpongeBob, so, it's still fun to watch, and I did enjoy this movie. And like I said, it is based on the SpongeBob show. That was created by marine science educator and animator Steven Hillenburg for Nickelodeon, he passed away back in 2018, but rest in peace, Steven Hillenburg. Thank you for giving me SpongeBob. Thank you for giving SpongeBob being part of my childhood. So, yeah. He served as the showrunner for the first three seasons, which has become the fifth longest running American anime series, so it's still going on. But SpongeBob happened because of him. If the show still goes on, I believe, you have 12 seasons and 262 episodes of SpongeBob. It says that Steven Hillenburg, became fascinated with the ocean as a child and began developing his artistic abilities at a young age. And he was in marine biology and stuff. It's very interesting to read about how he became a marine biologist and stuff, and how he became... It's a long thing to read, but I'm not going to do this whole review reading it. But what SpongeBob is about is the series takes place in the underwater city of Bikini Bottom, where SpongeBob lives. Its citizens are mostly fish who live in the buildings made for ship funnels and use boatmobiles of cars and boats as mode of transportation. Then you have characters like SpongeBob SquarePants, who SpongeBob is, Sponge. He's yellow, and he's got He's a kid basically at heart. And his friend Patrick Star, who is even more of a kid, you know. And Squidward, who was is Squid, and he's like, you know, that voice, you know, he's like, SpongeBob, when I die, don't come to my funeral. You know, he's always annoyed. He's SpongeBob's neighbor, but he's annoyed by him and Patrick all the time. And then there's the Krusty Krab, owned by Mr. Krabs, who was a crab that owns a Krusty Krab. You know, you get Krabby Patties, and he loves money. And then you have the Chum Bucket, owned by the evil Plankton, who wants to basically rule the world, you know, and get that Krabby Patty formula so he can rule the world and nobody can stop him. Sorry. And these are some of your SpongeBob characters. Yeah, Sandy there, Mrs. Puff. I forget that, but the whale right there, that's Mr. Krabs' daughter. He lives in a pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants. It's something to be a little mature to see. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. Sorry. But the plot of the show is you have the episodes of, like, he has a pet named Gary, you know, the snail, Gary. Meow. You know, he does that. This show is just fun to watch. And the episodes could be about anything about SpongeBob, like wanting to be tough, you know, like Sandy, or going on a date with Mr. Krabs' daughter. The episodes are just randomly. It's made for kids. It's very enjoyable to watch. You know, I know two of my cousins that have kids, that have children. They should definitely, if they're watching, my two cousins that have children, you should definitely get SpongeBob on DVD. Get the show. Because your kids will love it. Something great to grow up with. But I guess the show is still going on, and I don't know if it's good anymore. I heard some things like it wasn't a very good show anymore, which I don't know if that's true. Because I haven't watched SpongeBob in a long time. So this movie did bring back memories for me. It does bring the nostalgia back for me. But let's get into how the movie got made. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie was long planned. Nickelodeon Paramount Pictures had approached series creator Steven Hilberg for a film based on the show, but he refused to do for more than a year. Hilberg was concerned after watching The Iron Giant and Toy Story with his son about the challenge of SpongeBob and Patrick doing something more cinematically conscious and inspiring without losing what he calls the SpongeBob Canadians. He said a break from season 4 post-production to do a 75-minute movie about SpongeBob wanting to make some jellyfish. Jelly would be a mistake. I think this made SpongeBob into a great adventure. That's the comedy's coming from. Have these two native characters, SpongeBob and Patrick, Doofus and an idiot, on this incredibly dangerous and heroic odyssey with all the odds against them. In 2002, Hilberg and the show staff stopped making episodes to work on the film after the show's third season. The film's plot originally had SpongeBob rescue Patrick from fisherman in Florida, a reference to the 2011 from Finding Nemo, but I guess this was later to be a joke said by Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob. So I guess they didn't want to rip off Finding Nemo or anything like that, but you know, like I said, Tom Kenny said it was a joke. When the film was completed, Hilbert wanted to end the series, so it wouldn't jump the shark. However, Nickelodeon desired more episodes, so I guess they jumped the shark. You know, we're continuing it. Because, of course, you know, they need more money. More money. That's the question. That's really the answer to any studio. Is more money, you know. Sorry. Appointing writer, director, and storyboard artist Paul Tippett to succeed him. Tippett was one of Hilberg's favorite crew members, totally trusted him. Tippett will remain showrunner until he was succeeded in 2015 by the show's creative director, Vincent Waller. Casting. The film stars the entire main cast members. Tom Kenny as SpongeBob, Gary the Snail, French narrator, Bill Ferret as Patrick, Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs, Mr. Lawrence as Prankton, Carol Lawrence as Sandy, Jill Kelly as Karen, Joe Collette as Mrs. Puff, and Laura Allen as Pearl Krabs. Okay, Pearl, yeah, that was his daughter. And then, of course, we got a new Scarlett Johansson, who left her in this picture, but Scarlett Johansson, who voices Princess Mindy in here. It was a part of that, the Scarlett Johansson, Jeffrey Tambor, Alec Baldwin, who would voice Dennis, would play new characters, Princess Mindy, King Neptune, and Dennis, respectively, and David Hasselhoff would appear as himself. The Hasselhoff himself, from Knight Rider. Johansson accepted the role because she likes cartoons and was a fan of the Grim and Tempe show. Now, she was a star then, but this is before she was in the Marvel, so before that. When Jeffrey Tambor signed up for his voice came out, he saw his character King Neptune and joked, "This is me." He reminded me of the first cartoon he saw, Bambi. "My first cartoon I had to be carrying out crying. I had to be carried out crying. It was Bambi. It's like the great American woman, the death of Bambi's mother. Run, Bambi, run." Another great voice was Alec Baldwin. Stephen Herbert said the actor recorded his character Dennis on phone. I wouldn't say that about his performance. He might be mad if we said that. Ted Lee, that's like another in the studio. Baywatch and Knight Rider star David Hasselhoff accepted the role when his daughters Taylor and Hedley urged him to do it. Hasselhoff enjoyed the cameo. It was great fun. To this day, around the world, kids stop me and say, "Are you David Hasselhoff?" Because I was the only human in the picture. I was the only human in the picture. Hasselhoff said that film gained him new fans. We're so young, didn't see Baywatch or another, so I got a whole new legion of fans. Animation, there were a number of stations involved in the making of the film, beginning with rough animation of it. While animation and storyboards was done for the film. The film features live action scenes directed by Mark Osborne, so there's some live action in here. You have like a cool replica of David Hasselhoff right here for the movie. Then very nice special effect. The crew built a 1,500-pound, 12-foot replica of Hasselhoff. Wow. And there were just some deleted scenes in the movie. So I guess it became a big fame thing with this replica. Because in March 2014, Hasselhoff offered the replica up for auction with other memorabilia collected during his career. Wow. And of course, the film has a really good soundtrack. The filming lips recorded Spongebob and Patrick. Wow. Got some good songs in here. "I'm a goofy goober," and of course the SpongeBob song in the beginning. And "Now That We're Men," my favorite song, "The Best Day Ever." Really good music in the song in here as well. Yeah, you got the theme, got the Goofy Goober song. "Now That We're Men" is somewhere, but it has 15 tracks on this movie. For the film's release, to promote marketing for the film, they had backpacks, lunchboxes, and Rich Ross. It respected Hilbert's and gave him control of merchandising for the film. Fast food titles, I think Burger King. Yeah, the film was promoted across the United States. Nickelodeon chose Burger King for a 12-figure toy line. I think that's right here. Yeah. Yes, Burger King released toys for the movie. SpongeBob the Puzzle Twist Cube, Patrick's Patty Wagon Ride, SpongeBob SquarePants, Bubbling Eye Plankton, Karate Shop Sandy. Some toys there for the characters that they made up. So if you can't see it well. But these are the toys that they had marketing the film. Yeah, some toys there. Yep, just all the toys marketing for the film. Alright. And then of course they also had a video game for the movie. Yep, PlayStation 2. Other platforms, was also Microsoft Windows, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox, mobile phone. The plot of the video game is based on the film, where King Neptune's crown has been stolen and Patrick, Plankton and SpongeBob Patrick must retreat from Shell City and save Bikini Bottom. I'm showing the game. There are 18 levels. The players control SpongeBob and Patrick, both of whom they have their own unique set of abilities. Each level contains a main objective and side test. 4 levels includes a boss enemy. You have to sometimes take on Dennis, and then you have to fight King Neptune when with the chum bucket that King Neptune had. You have to SpongeBob in the game. You have to fight him. Also, the player only needs to complete a level's main combat in order to unlock the next level. The main levels for the game, the player must use SpongeBob and our Patrick to proceed through the level. Several skills such as combat, camera movement, and most notably, just reading the PC version, there's a GBA version, and of course you have the cast coming, do the voices. I think Jeffrey Tambor voiced King Neptune. Scarlett Johansson, okay, they do voices for the video game too, which is awesome. And for the PlayStation 3 as well, which was on February 2012, they released it. So you can probably find video game playthroughs of it on YouTube. But I wanted to mention it because it is part of the review, so. Yeah. It's on Blu-ray now. I'm guessing the critics liked it. I think it's a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes. But of course, due to this film's success, it got 2 sequels, which was the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, and even though the movie's been delayed this year because of COVID-19, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, yeah. I already mentioned the video game. But with the film's success, you got the 2 sequels. And of course, like I said, you have Tom Kenny back to SpongeBob and Gary the Snail. Bill Figurbagel, Clancy Brown. I know Clancy Brown for, some other movies like Highlander. And he voiced Lex Luthor in the Superman animated series. Mr. Lawrence as Plankton, which he's best known for. Alec Baldwin as Dennis. I know Alec Baldwin for other movies like, I know him from The Shadow, The Shadow Nose. And he was in the Cat in the Hat movie, The Hunt for October, The Departed. He's been in a lot of movies. He also did a voice for Madagascar 2 and The Boss Baby, which I like The Boss Baby. I know some people don't, but that's just me. Scarlett Johansson's Princess Minnie, you know her for Black Widow from the Marvel films, and she's done many of other films too. Love you, Scarlett. You're a great actress. Beautiful woman. And of course, you have Jeffrey Tambor. I think I've seen that in some stuff. Yes, I think he was in Dr. Dolittle, because I watched that movie yesterday, so that had to be him. And he was in Hellboy 1 and 2. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think, he played the mayor of Whoville. You know what? Good makeup. I didn't even recognize him at that time. But he voices King Neptune. David Hasselhoff himself, Carol Lawrence, Mary Jo Clump, Lori Ellen, who I think she was in King and Queens and Monsters University, but I think I remember her in that show, King and Queens. Oh, she did some voices for Ray Arnold, but maybe she was in that show. I don't know. But she voices Bonnie's mom as well. From Toy Story 4, and I guess 3. The film is directed by Stephen Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob himself. Produced by him and Julia Pister. Screenplay by Derek Diamond, Tim Hill, Stephen Hillenburg, Ken Osborne, Aaron Springer, Paul Tibbett. Stories by Stephen Hillenburg. It's based on SquarePants show by Stephen Hillenburg. It's narrated by Tom Kenny. The music is by Gregor Neuhaus. Cinematography is by Jerzy Ziccolini. I can't say his name right. I butchered that. It's edited by Lynn Hobson. Production company is Nickelodeon Movies, United Plankton Pictures. It's distributed by Paramount Pictures. It was released November 19th, 2004 in the United States, and November 14th in Gourmet's China's theater. It's 87 minutes long. The budget to make the film was $30 million at the box office. It made $140.2 million worldwide. So the film was successful at the box office. Yeah. Of course, because you have fans like me, when we were kids, we wanted to see this movie. Like I said, I saw it in theaters when I was a kid. So, yeah, that was great to see this movie in theaters. It was fun. Anyway, yeah. Pretty much the plot synopsis of this movie is that in this lovely animated adventure, undersea oddball SpongeBob SquarePants and his starfish friend Patrick embark on a quest to clue the name of Mr. Krabs, the owner of the Krusty Krab restaurant, who has been framed for stealing the crown of ocean identity King Neptune, who is the king of the sea of Bikini Bottom. Leaving the familiar confines of Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob and Patrick venture towards Shell City to get the crown and save Mr. Krabs, where they hope to find Neptune's crown, but numerous obstacles stand or float in their way, and they also have to stop Plankton, of course, who is behind all this, and who's planning to take over the world and take over Bikini Bottom. So not only do they have to go to Shell City, get the crown, and save Mr. Krabs, they also have to stop Plankton from taking over Bikini Bottom and save the world. So that's the plot in a nutshell for you. Okay. Son of a bitch! Excuse my language. Pissed me off. Okay, I think it's this one. I'm a goof, a goober! I ain't gonna fuck with that thing. Alright, let's get to the movie itself, shall we? Hope you guys can see and hear me. Again, I apologize about the webcam. Sorry you have to see my fat ass stomach, but sorry. This is webcam. Alright, well the movie opens up. The film pretty much opens up with a group of pirates that they, shoot me timbers, it's over there, and they get this treasure chest, and like, ever beholds my eyes, ever been seen, I can't do a pirate voice, but then they're like, take us to the Spongebob SquarePants movie, and then they sing that great song, who lives under the pineapple under the sea, Spongebob SquarePants, and they go to the theater, just run in there, and, kind of just cause chaos a little bit, get some popcorn and watch the movie. And the movie starts with SpongeBob, of course, having a dream, emergency at the Krusty Krab. That, of course, Mr. Krabs says the problem is, I can't say nothing right now to the situation. So SpongeBob shows up and says, "I'm here," and he's a cool dude in this dream, and he's like, when the customer, go for the Krabby Patty, no, Gene, no. He's like, calm down, Eugene, I'll handle this. He's like, what's your name? The guy's like this, the fish is like, Gary? He's like, Phil was like, got a family, Phil? Come on, Phil, tell me about that family. He's like, yes, I have one wife and two beautiful children. Oh, that's good. Okay, just focus on that. Now, Phil, what? Say cheese. Do something for me. Say cheese. And he puts the cheese on the hamburger. And freaked out. And he's like, and he gets the cheeseburger. He's like, Krabby Patty up. And like, you're ready for SpongeBob. And then, of course, the way he is, blowhorn of where SpongeBob wakes up. And he's like, yay, Gary, today I'm going to be, the new manager because Mr. Krabs has opened up a Krusty Krab 2. And with that, he's going to pick a new manager, which will either be SpongeBob himself or Squidward. And he's happy about this, and he gets ready, washes himself, brushes his eyes, uses water hose to put it to his head and clean himself. And then I liked it though when, of course, like I say, he lives next to Squidward, and Squidward's taking a shower, like, and then Squidward and that was like, I want to tell you this, I'm going to be your new manager, and I promise you I'll be a good manager. Like, he's just going to walk, you're like, get out of here, SpongeBob. And Badger's like, oh, buddy, you're going to be SpongeBob, because kind of underwear. He's like, underwear. He's like, oh, that's better. I'll put my shorts on. He's like, congratulations. They sing the Goofy Goober song. But also, when SpongeBob is on his way and Mr. Krabs tells him, he's like, the Bikini Bottom news crew wants to talk to him, and he says, what was your idea for opening up this list? And he's like, I like money. He's like, why did you want to open up a new Krusty Krab? He's like, money. And then of course, Plankton's over there is like, oh my gosh, I've never had a customer before. Look at that, the ingredients to that, And he's like, so I can rule the world. And he's like, I've come up with so many plans. What about Plan C that his wife robot says? And he's like, oh yeah, Plan C, I'm loving you. So I'll come up with something. And so that when I do come up with this plan, I'm going to be able to rule the world. And then SpongeBob steps on him by accident. And he's like, ow, ow. So he's like, I stepped on something. He's like, ow, ow. Oh, hey, Plankton, sorry I stepped on you. What are you doing today? He come to the Krusty Krab. He's like, no, I'm not going to the Krusty Krab. I'm planning on taking over the world. And then SpongeBob's like, good luck with that. And he's like, stupid kid. As he plans on for his Plan C as in store. Of course, we kind of meet King Neptune, who is the king of the sea, like I said, king of all Bikini Bottom. And of course, his daughter, Bendy, voiced by the beautiful Scarlett Johansson. Her father, he's bald. He's like a nightmare for everybody to love. But he loves his crown. And he punishes people when they touch his crown. And but Mindy's more nice, and she's very sweet. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. She's like, Dad, you have to punish somebody. You can go through that day with executing somebody. You could be a little nicer. It's like, Mindy, a king cannot be nice, But I also forgot to mention SpongeBob is there at the rally, at the Krusty Krab rally. He's like, I'm going to get it. And then he's like, this name starts with an S, and he's going to get it. Mr. Krabs now he's like this. It'll be Squidward. And SpongeBob's like, yeah, it's me. Yeah, I won. Yeah. And he goes up there and says, like, you didn't say anything. He's telling him, you didn't win. He's like, I'm making a fool of myself so everybody can hear me, everything that you're saying on the microphone. And he's like, SpongeBob, you don't get it because, well, you're a kid. And SpongeBob was a bit, Squidward's older than you. You're a kid. Like, that hurt. It hurt his feelings. And then, of course, like I said, when we meet King Neptune, when he's talking to his daughter, I'm sorry, I go over all of my reviews, Plankton comes on Plan C and steals King Neptune's crown and tells it to Shell City. He's like, Plan C, I love you. For his plan to get going. And he's able to also set up Mr. Krabs for it. SpongeBob is extremely upset by this, and he's at the Goofy Goober place, which has the nut bar, which I thought was funny. The nut bar with the finger pointing to the nut bar. And he's like, he tells Patrick about this, like, that sucks. What you kid? That sucks. And then, he's like, here's your Happy Meal, sir, Just Patrick's like, I already told you this. And he's like, let's have some. They have some ice cream. They eat up ice cream. They pretty much get drunk off ice cream. Say this, oh waiter. So I've been acting like crazy in this review. This movie just, it's a blast to watch. And then they get drunk with the Goofy Goober and sing up there, and then, after waking up like 8 a.m. in the morning time, they're there, and SpongeBob just looks like a drunk, and he's like, oh, I gotta be at work, Mr. Krabs, I'm gonna go tell him right off. And of course, as Mr. Krabs is preparing school for being a manager, he's like, more money, and of course, it's King Neptune showing up, and Neptune's like, basically saying, you stole my crown, Krabs. And was like, no, I didn't do it. He's like, yeah, yes, you did. He said, with no saying, I stole your crown, signed Eugene Krabs. What? And then with the message saying, Mr. Krabs, I sold that King Neptune's crown to Shell City for you. And then of course he's trying to, hit the phone, hit the message, just break it. The king just he's saying, you're here. It's like, ah! And because he's wearing like a bag for his crown. He's like, when I take my head off, it's like this. And then everyone's like, oh no! And he's about to put him on fire. And he's like, before his execution, does anybody have anything to say about him? SpongeBob's like, yeah, I had to say something about him. He's a great guy, and I've worked for Scrap for a good few years, and to find out that he's a great big jerk, it's just SpongeBob mad. But then Dexter's like, okay, and then he starts firing his weapon out on his, I forget what you call it. Yeah. It's the grand opening, ceremony. That was a grand opening ceremony that I forgot to mention before, sorry. Magic Trident. Okay, duh. Trident, But when Krabs denies it, he's like, don't hurt him. He's like, you don't have to hurt him over a crown. He's like, you understand my crown's here when he opens it. And he's like, well, bald, And he goes, he's like, I'll go in Mr. King Neptune, I'll go and get your crown from the show. So he's like, you? No one can sign for our show video, not even you. He's like, get out of here, kid. I have some execution to do. And then, Princess Mindy gets involved. She's like, no, Dad. See this cute sponge? He's trying to help you. You need to listen to him, Daddy. And then he says, okay, I'll listen. So he finally says, I'll give you 10 days. Until Patrick's like, 9. He's like, 8, no, 7, 6. And he's like, Patrick, shut up. And Mr. Krabs is like, until Eugene Krabs, he freezes him, puts him on ice. And then, Princess Minnie's like, okay, you guys gotta be careful going to Shell City. They'll get you. They'll get you, these monsters and the Cyclops. And so you guys gotta be careful. So you can do this. I believe in you. You gotta give it a try. To go. And Patrick has a crush on Mindy. He's like, oh, you're cute. My name was like, yes, I know every creature that lives in Bikini Bottom. Your name is Patrick Star. That's easy. And then they go, the one you see in the poster for the movie, the Krabby Patty Mobile. And it's like, you don't need a license to drive a burner. Or something like that. Also, SpongeBob sticks up for Mr. Krabs like this. I'm gonna let you burn him. I forgot to mention that. Sorry. They decide to go so shitty. meanwhile Plankton, it's got the Krusty Krabs, the patty ingredients, and is able to know the Chum Bucket has business and is going well for him now. So Plan C, I love you. So it starts working for him. And of course he's like, oh, we're going to win here. He's like, I got Chum Buckets for everybody. And then his wife tries to him, no, SpongeBob and his friend Patrick are headed there right now. And he tells him, nope, I got somebody hiring for them. He hired a guy named Dennis, who is voiced by Alec Baldwin. The character is like a biker, but he's just really tough and mean. But when Patrick, they're going to go across the city limit, the county line, these two rednecks are laughing at them. It's like, well, the commercial can catch them. Y'all ain't going to last 5 minutes, 10 seconds out there. And of course they last like 12 after this guy steals the phone, and then they look back at them. And they get tired of walking. Only if we hurt our core. And of course, what do you know, they do have their core. Well, I forgot to mention, as Dennis is sneaking up for them, when he goes across the two rednecks, they laugh at him, and of course he literally grows their mouths off. And they go to this board, they say, where's the key at? Patrick, what are we going to do? He's like, alright, who's going to do this distraction? Patrick's like, can I do the distraction? And because this is a tough board and they get beaten up, so they have to come up with a distraction. Patrick's like this, comes in and is like, alright, everybody! Walk up to all the characters, walk up, like, I just want to know where the bathroom's at. And they're like, oh, that way. So they let him go to the rest. So, as SpongeBob close again, the key's like, looking for my eye contacts. Really, his little thing, found it. And he's like, Patrick, you call that a distraction? He's like, what, I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, really? Now we're going to figure out somebody to get the key. So they start playing with the bubbles in the bathroom. They start playing with the bubbles. And they're like, who did that bubble? And it's like, and one rule said, beat whoever up who does bubbles. And then Patrick and SpongeBob would just, fill up the bubbles. And they're about to leave. It's like, dude, you guys didn't know? And then, of course, they get everybody lined up. It's like, okay, somebody's a kid in here that played with it. So they play the Goofy Goober song. And Patrick and SpongeBob just know that they cannot sing this song, although they love singing that Goober Goober song. If they sing it, no, it's them. One person's like, it's them, no, I call. And they're just, I can't sing. Can't resist it, Patrick's face is melting like from Razor Lost Ark. It's my goes. Until these two other guys singing, then they beat up on them, and then of course they say, let's get the key, so they get in their car, get in the Krabby Patty mobile, and take off. Oh, Mindy also gave them a magical bag of lamps to return home once they get the crown from Show City. Oh yeah, the paddy wagon. That's what they drive in the movie. And they're also able to steal the key, like I said. Oh yeah, well Plankton also just stole the Krabby Patty formula, secret formula. Until I think, SquarePants starts finding out. He's not going to help. He's like, oh whatever, I'm gone. Some days off work, but then he's riding his little tricycle or whatever, his bike exercising. He's like, sorry. It's like, oh, why do you have that chum bucket? Oh, yeah. Plankton sold everybody these buckets in the chum bucket and give you Krabby Patties for free. And then he tells them, he's like, I know what you're up to. He's like, you're the one that told King Neptune's crown. You're the one that calls all this for Mr. Krabs. And you're involved in my paycheck. And I'm going to go tell him, he's like, okay, Mr. Blubbermouth, and then he puts people's helmets on them to mind control them. Was like this: seize him, all hail Plankton, all hail Plankton. He's like, Plankton's like, who's gonna stop me now? He is. Because if everybody helmets are mind controlled. And Dennis is also able to pass by the other bar they went to, and of course this late, they say, don't blow no bubbles, we got a rule in here about beating people up that, beat you up for having bubbles, and then of course Dennis just whacks him, and then he just drives off, as the other gang members just let him like that, freaked out. Then you get SpongeBob and Patrick traveling through a field of skulls, and of course they see there's an ice cream stand there, an ice cream place, and they're like, oh, let's go get ice cream, and of course, he's walking through the full head skulls of the heads, skulls and bones and stuff, and then he's like, hey, how you doing? Patrick says to the skulls, something wrong here. He's like, SpongeBob! And he's like, what, Patrick? Make mine a chocolate. Because they're idiots, basically. That's the joke of it. And he's like, one chocolate one first. He's like, here you go, it's timing. And, he's like, okay, let go. And they realize the monster was like, ah! And they were run from this monster with the core and the padding mobile. And of course, as they're driving through there, they come to a cliff, they jump out of the car, I believe, and the monster grabs him like, you see nothing about big monster's like, what are we going to do now? So SpongeBob's like, we gotta quit. What about Mr. Krabs and stuff? He's like, forgive Mr. Krabs. He's just saying that, what about us? We can't go through that, we'll die. And then of course, Mindy shows up to tell him, you guys can show up. She's in a magic shell that what Plankton's been doing is taking over Bikini Bottom. Has become Plankton Bottom, pretty much. And, it's Squidward, Sandy, Mrs. Puff, they're all under his control now. And she's like, you guys can do it. I just believe in yourself. And I believe we're going to film. And they start crying and whining and, just crying in their tears. And then she's like, really? Not you. She's able to convince them, though. She creates a seaweed form. Is like, I'll be able to turn you into man with magic. And in the George is like this. She's like, shh, to her two horse seals or whatever you call them. Those fish in the sea, horsefish, whatever. She's like, with my magic power, I turn you into men. And force the seaweed into men. Is like, we're men now, yay! It's like, guys, you ready to go and save Show City? Get the crown, Show City, and save Mr. Krabs. I was like, yeah, and they jump down. He's like, yeah, I didn't mean that. They jump down to. Clark was like, Patrick, we're all right. And the name of my favorite song in the movie, Now that we're men, we can do anything. Now that we're men, we can do anything. Get Mr. Krabs, say Mr. Krabs, go to Show City, say Mr. Krabs, and save the day. Now that we're men, we have facial hair. Now that we're men, I changed my underwear, And of course they start doing dancing through the monsters, and the monsters are like, yay! They're men. We can't bother. Sorry, that's a fun song. But of course, he says, and the other monsters, how to go. And then they run into Dennis, who tells them who he is. He's like, we're men, you can't mess with us, Sonny. And he's like, you mean these mustaches of seaweed? He's like, this is a real mustache. Now Plankton tells me to mess you up. Plankton is planning to take over Bikini Bottom after stealing, Neptune's crown and everything. And I just gave you too much information. But anyway, with my feet, he's almost ready to step on him and kill him. By crushing him onto his spiky boot. However, even a bigger boot crushes Dennis, which is the scuba diver known as the Cyclops, who kidnaps SpongeBob and Patrick. They wake up in a goldfish bowl fish with fresh water, and they see that there are other sea creatures are there that have been kidnapped by him, and that he just tortures them out by torturing them, making mimics of the creatures. And he's going to do them next by putting them under a heat lamp, which, SpongeBob says that they have failed, to get a bikini gun, but we almost did it, and then as soon as they realize that, wait a minute, this is Shell City, SpongeBob, and then they realize that this is Shell City, and there's the, at least we tried, but we're just kids. We couldn't do it right, but hey, at least we got this far, and they're done, and the whole crowd, the pirates, everybody start crying, but then, of course, SpongeBob and Patrick cry with their strong tears. It's able to eventually, it's magic tears, so the tear goes to turn off the electricity on the lamp, and they come back to life, and the whole crowd yelling at the pirates and stuff. I'm a goofy goober, you're a goofy goober. They come back off, yes, let's get that now. The chair of the goofy goober saves them though. And they're like, okay, let's get this crown. I was like, well, this crown wasn't that heavy. And then of course it's the Cyclops picking them up. Of course, with the water running now, it brings all the sea creatures back to life. And of course, they attack and get revenge on them, so they'll beat them up. Patrick's supposed to run out of there. They're going to use that magic bag, but Patrick opens it too soon and closes it. Oh! And then, of course, the Hasselhoff shows up. He's like, who are you? I'm David Hasselhoff. He's like, I know you guys go there. I was like, do you have a boat? Boat. Oh, I'll take care of you guys. And he's able to ride them on a boat. Like this on his back. And Dennis comes back, and he's angry, and he's ready to kill them off. He's like, you'll never get back to Plankton. And also the day of the execution is coming up for the day for Krabs to die. As Plankton is awaiting it. Patrick's like, we're not going to run against him no more. And then of course he slaps Patrick back all the way to David Hasselhoff's feet, and he's like, no, you're not going to get me. And he jumps like, way to go, kid. You're just a kid, you can't beat me. He tries to buy him with Goober Dolls, but Dennis is not interested. And of course he uses the bubble ball. He's like, what about bubbles? And he goes and he's like, my eyes! And then it falls back in the, doesn't fall back in the water. It blinds him. That just makes him angrier. And there's a floating sailboat. Of course, Dennis gets hit with a floatboat, eventually taking him out for good. And as we realize Bikini Bottom, he's like, okay, this ain't making Bikini Bottom this. Just go right up here on his chest, and he get like a machine out of his chest and blow him down there. And Princess Mindy is trying to delay the execution, but her father is heading out. He's like, Mindy, go in the car now! And then locks the door from her coming in. Is about to do this execution, in 5, 4, 3, until SpongeBob and Patrick come down. Mr. He's like, David, as he is about to burn this. Oh yeah, they deflect the burn, and he goes up, and David Hasselhoff's like, I've done it again, ow. And of course, he's got his king back, and like, well, King Neptune has his crown back. He's like, oh, thank you, SpongeBob, for my beautiful princess, kissing his crown. And like and then SpongeBob, Patrick, and many like Plankton Igloos, and of course he didn't care about that. He still had of course another plan C to continue. He gets the king under his control by putting a bucket on him to kill him off. He's like, you're just a kid. Of course you're never gonna beat me. As he is, Plankton tells him. Because he's an evil genius and he's just a stupid kid. And then you're supposed to like, you know what, you're right, Plankton. But you know what, I made a journey. I went through Shell City. I rode the House of Walls. I was almost killed by a Cyclops, and killed him on the left, and I did it. I was like, okay, we get it. He's like, because I'm a kid. I am. I was like, okay, stop. I am a goofy goober, and then he comes up with that rock song, goofy goober rock song. He's got his own like Geordie from Star Trek, and starts singing, and was able to get like a rock star band on, a rock star costume on, and starts using the guitar to freeze everybody from Plankton's control. And of course it works. Plankton's like, no, everybody stop, stop. And then of course he tries to get out of there, but they all step on him to death. And he's like, I wasn't going to try to tell you guys, I was just playing, I'm going to ruin you one day. And as he is sent to jail, pretty much like a pancake. When he tries the king, to King Neptune, of course he's able to get that control under there. He's like, Mr. Krabs, Eugene Krabs, here's your safety back. Thank you, Krabs. I'm sorry I accused you, and you need to thank SpongeBob. Where is he? SpongeBob like, I'm up here, on the ropes, still wearing the rock costume. He's like, well, thank you, lad, you saved me. You deserve to be a manager. He's like, wait a minute. No one wants to be a manager. And Squirrel thinks that he's going to make a speech about not being a manager, that you found yourself, that probably doesn't want to be a manager. Like, no, I'll tell you that your shoes are untied. I still want to be a manager. SpongeBob's like, yeah! It's like, yeah, SpongeBob! And then SpongeBob jumps happy at the end, and that's the end credits roll. Oh, no, his fly was down. Bessie's trying to tell him that. And you see the pictures at the end credit scene of SpongeBob as a manager and being the Krusty Krab. And that was the ending shot of the movie. And then the post-credit scene, you have the usher telling the pirates to leave. He's like, say that again? She's like, you need to leave, or something like that. And he's like, okay. And then they all leave. And she's like, cleans up the popcorn, and then that's the post-credit scene. And that's SpongeBob and SquarePants movie for you folks. I know it's a long review. Sorry. I'm not going to read any quotes for the movie. I guess I just won't have time. Oh well. Sorry. But let me get my final opinion on this film. I'm not going to read any quotes now. I think I've done most of the quotes right. Sorry. Well, it wasn't too bad in the last review. But to give my final opinion on the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is, I love this movie. I love SpongeBob. SpongeBob was part of my childhood, and again, it was great to watch this movie. I don't really have any issues with it. I think it's a fun movie. It's just a fun film. SpongeBob is just fun to watch. Even if you put adult jokes in it, the adult jokes work. Because it is something that I think both kids, and I'm 27 years old and I still enjoy watching SpongeBob, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just me. But it's fun. Steven Hillenburg, the writing and the directing, the story by him was great. I think they did a good job, with the story and the patty crap. And the patty, machine car was, can't say it right, I'm sorry. I'm speechless right now. But the directing and writing was good, the story I said was good. The music, the soundtrack is really good. I enjoy the music score in this movie. as good as it gets, had a good movie score too. I think I forgot to mention that. Normally, never mind. Oh, what a day. But the music score is really good. I love the songs like Goofy Goober song. My favorite one is the old man and then the opening theme. I love that. And the SpongeBob SquarePants, the animation, the opening, the SpongeBob theme song is good. The live action blended in with the animation is really good. The animation is great. But then when you have to blend it with live action, like at the beginning, and when SpongeBob and Pat are on the beach, that was really good. And with David Hasselhoff, that was really good animation in my opinion. They really did a good job with the animation. And of course, when you see the Cyclops, I still think it holds up today in my opinion. For 2004, it still looks really good. The cinematography and the editing is really nice. They did a good job with the cinematography. And Bikini Bottom was great. The animation, they still make great. I'm glad they took time off the show to make this film and to make it, for the fans like me. When I was, I still remember when I was, kids like in my age back in the day that loved watching SpongeBob, do this movie for us. And I think they did justice, did it right for us. So, And the movie is only 87 minutes long. It goes by at a good pace. It's a very fast-paced movie. 87 minutes is not that long, folks. And the voice cast is great. Tom Kenny, Bill Fogel, Clancy Brown, and of course, Alec Baldwin, Scarlett Johansson, Jeffrey Tambor as Dennis, Princess Minnie, and King Neptune. These three cast members, they're great. I love listening to Scarlett's voice. She sounds adorable. She still sounds gorgeous today, but her character, Minnie, was cute. David Hasselhoff was awesome in this movie. His cameo was awesome. And I still think the cast did a really good job voicing their characters in this movie. And I thought the story was really good too, Because, it makes sense because Plankton is also the villain in the show who always wants to, take over Bikini Bottom, take over the Krusty Krab, take over the whole world. That's what his goal usually is. I think that's all the time in the episode. So he's the villain of the show, so he got to be the villain of the movie. But it is a very entertaining movie. I like that. SpongeBob does realize that, hey, at heart he is a kid, and this movie kind of shows, well, to me, that you can still be a kid at heart, I think, that's what the movie's message kind of was, but it doesn't have a message. It's still basically comedy, but still that movie. Any issues? Any problems I have with the SquarePants movie? No. I think it's one of the best Nickelodeon movies ever made. One of the best animated films ever made. I can't think of any issues I have. I still think the humor works. I forgot to mention the humor was good. The Gifts had good humor too in that movie. But this movie really, I'm sorry to get off topic to that. But this movie really had good humor. The humor is still funny. I'm still laughing and cracking up. It does crack me up, And the humor works. The movie has heart to it. It's great animation. Yeah. I've always loved SpongeBob. Yeah. It's a very fun, entertaining, heartwarming movie, so that's all I can say about it. I don't have any issues with it. I can't think of any issues I have with it. I probably do like it a bit more than Jimmy Neutron Boy Jesus. I think I like it more than that, and the Rugrats movie. I probably like it more than the Rugrats, and I like it more than the Rugrats Go Wild, but that's just my opinion. The Wild Thornberrys movie, I don't know. I was going to read that too for him, but it's just the quality was bad on YouTube, and it's not on YouTube anymore, and I don't own the movie, the Wild Thornberrys movie. But I do want to read all of the movie and one day, and Wild Thornberrys film. But SpongeBob SquarePants movie was a lot of fun to watch. If you're a fan of SpongeBob, if you grew up watching SpongeBob like I did, you'll definitely, and you're old, 27 or older than me, and you grew up watching SpongeBob, and you haven't seen SpongeBob in a while, if you're on YouTube, just look it up on YouTube. The movie is still on YouTube. But if you're going to look up Part 9, because Part 9 might not be in the part because it got blocked from YouTube, just to let you folks know, if anybody who wants to watch the film, that's where I watched it on YouTube. But if you own the movie, good for you, because I wish I did. But my rating for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars, yes, and a thumbs up. I love SpongeBob. I just love this movie. One of my favorite animated films of all time, and favorite Nickelodeon films too. Great movie, fun film. So it definitely stays true to the, spirit of SpongeBob. It still stays true to the show. It's not insulting. The humor works. The cast is still great. The new characters. Dennis. Jeffrey Tambor. Alec Baldwin. and Scarlett Johansson, and the cameo David Hasselhoff were all great here. The new addition to the cast were great. So I enjoyed, all the performances. The voice cast was great. It's a great movie, good animation. Like I said, fun, heartwarming movie. Good film. I definitely check out SpongeBob the SquarePants movie. It's a good movie, great film. And my thumbs up for this movie, thumbs up. I give the thumbs up. And rating once again for SpongeBob the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 stars. Once again, 5 out of 5 stars. So guys, definitely check this movie out. And also, God damn. James Bond Star Wars fan 1995. I will put his channel in the description box below. In the description below. Yeah, James Star Wars fan 1995. Definitely go check out his channel. And James Star Wars fan 1995, if you're watching, thank you my friend for requesting this. Sorry it took so long. But this will probably be my last request review for now. I'll do more, but like I said, only if I own a movie. That's the only way I'll do request reviews from now on, is if I own the film. Today I got lucky. But not so much afterwards, I probably won't. But unless I own the movie, I'll do a request review. But James Star Wars fan 1995, thank you, and thank you to the people that watch my videos and stuff. Thank you guys for always supporting my channel. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Let me know what you thought about the SpongeBob SquarePants movie down below. Yeah. So tell me, what did you think of SpongeBob the SpongeBob SquarePants movie? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Tell me what you think of it. And in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Whenever, wherever. But thanks for watching, guys.